Welcome back, everybody, to the Last of Us spoiler review recap show. We are now on episode 5 of season 2. It's Frelon Stevie back again. How are you feeling? You happy to be back in the world of Ellie and Dina?
Of course, yes. I'm very happy to see what they've been up to. So it's a good episode this time. Yeah.
This show feel real cheerful to you? Was like some people was like it's just not dark enough. Do you feel like this the show has been too like all smiles like the entire time for you?
Mm, oh, I don't think so. I don't think it's all smiles. it's I mean, like the subject is kind of dark. People are
Yeah,
dying, especially this episode. Like you just see people just getting beat up and cut open
yeah,
and all this other
yeah,
stuff. Like, it don't look happy. Don't
yeah.
look cheerful.
I think with this show, you need moments of levity. I think if it
Hmm.
was like the video game, I felt like Jesus Christ, it felt so hard to get through the game because like it was like one moment to the next, and it was not letting up. Like I'm like, okay, is it gonna be a happy part here? We gonna smile? Like I'm like, all right. I literally had to take breaks from the game because it felt like it was just too much. Like
That I could agree with.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
If we're talking about the game, then yes, it's not the same. There's definitely those moments of like, okay, we're having a little bit of banter. It's cute type thing. So yeah, that I could definitely agree with. But I feel like that's like the whole point of the game. It's like you got to
Yeah.
get to these points quick because you're playing a game.
On
You
top of
know.
that, you're also having encounters throughout the story of the game where you engage the infected or you find your ways to survive. So they give you more to engage with here. Whereas though, like,
Hmm.
we still get that in this show version of this, but it's in select parts. Like it's not overly done. You know what I mean? Like where like, okay, every time I get to point A, I gotta take out 25 infected before I can get to the next door and then the next cutscene. It
Yeah.
doesn't work like here. Um but jumping into, I just want to jump into some news that some business I wanted to address before we get into the fight because we definitely had some people on episode 4 answer some questions that I had presented last episode. So to answer the question of current Ellie, she is 19 years of age. She is currently
Okay.
19. Yeah. And the other question was the outbreak was in 2003. I think we kind of guesstimated that last time,
Yeah.
but so we kind of got that answer for it. So I definitely appreciate that to the
Thank
person that
you.
that comment. I definitely appreciate that. Yes, because we're gonna have more questions for you as we get through this episode too. So um,
Exactly. Thank you
before
so
we,
much for the comments.
I know, right? Before we break down episode 5 of season 2, uh, the usual. How did you feel overall about the episode?
Again, I did like him. I really am liking this season. I know that might be controversial.
To who? To who?
I, I don't know.
Oh,
Maybe I
okay.
don't know. There's people that I know
Nothing,
people that
nothing
have
wrong
stopped.
with liking it something, man. I hate people, man, because look, if I don't agree with something being bad or if this was good or your favorite Marvel movie, like you don't gotta hate everything, man. You don't gotta be in that group. You can like something that's an adaptation of something or something that's trying a different take. Okay, I just want to say that you
Mhm.
can continue.
Yeah, no, because I know people who have actually stopped watching the show like after episode 2 because they're
It's
like,
not
oh,
gonna
we
be.
just don't think it's gonna be good anymore. Like friends of mine,
Yeah,
and so I've been liking it. I think it's really good. I think they're doing pretty good and you know, what how many episodes they have and how much shit they have to cover. So I think they've been doing really good with that. I'm liking the banter between everybody in this episode. I love Dina and I love Ellie. I love how they're together and it's just good. The action is there is action in here and it's like baby action. Not baby, but it's like a little bit. You don't see a lot. It's not
right.
like a big fight scene, but you do see
Yeah.
some stuff there. So yeah, I think it's good.
I definitely agree with what you just said. I mean, I mean, like I said, we voiced our opinions already on episode 2, which was the death of Joel. Spoiler, episode 5. But we voiced our opinions, and I voiced how I felt about it. I don't necessarily hate it. I just hate that it didn't have the same level of impact for some reason as I voiced before. But that wasn't enough to like really turn me off the show, because season 2 I already knew was the Dina and Ellie show, or more so the Ellie show, Ellie and Abby. You know what I mean? So this is their story, whereas the first season was Joel and Ellie, and that was
Mm-hmm.
their story throughout the season. So again, I'm not mad about how they
Oh,
did it. I just feel like it missed some of the impact, or maybe an opportunity to build that up a little bit more. And also, I think because maybe I knew it was coming in some capacity, that it lessened it for me. I don't know how everybody else feels. I haven't seen like comments or anything about that, but I think the consensus has pretty much been the same about, man, something was missing from that, or man,
yeah.
it was something was off. But and here we are, get this opportunity to see these other two characters go through their journey and build the relationship up. Like I said, um, had they, I think we've seen enough of Dina so far, and enough of her personality and her relationship with Jesse, Joel, and Ellie, that if she died in episode 5, which she doesn't, spoiler, that we'd be hurt. You'd be caught off guard, like, why did they do that? Like,
Yeah.
especially with the baby being on the line and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my only thing about it. Like I said, this was a great episode. It had a lot of good moments, especially again between Ellie and Dina. Had a lot of good moments showcasing the wolves. Had a good moments. I think just good shot opportunity, like good like shots in the show, like where there's just nothing in silence.
Yeah.
Those were some of the best scenes I think throughout
Mm-hmm.
this episode that I really really like. Like like if we get
Great.
like a picture of it or something like that, that'd be pretty cool. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, all right. So jumping into episode 5, you guys have just probably finished watching on our nation's HBO, and yeah, so the episode pretty much starts off with who we already know, with the Wolves doing an interview with Sergeant Park. And Sergeant Park is pretty much explaining the situation that happened, which we later found out later what happened to her
Son.
people, her platoon, however you want to call it. And we get a woman unknown whose identity is not revealed at this point in time. I'm assuming this is the same. I'm not even assuming. I'm going to say it is the same woman that we're seeing like murals of and stuff like that on the brick wall and everything as we've been going by.
Isn't that was the woman that Isaac saved
I
in the last episode? Remember when Isaac was like
Oh, right, right,
at the
right.
beginning?
That was the woman that was standing on the street, and
Yeah.
he converted, or I don't know what happened. Like, they were already working together at that point in the scene. Okay,
Yeah.
they never said her name though.
No, I don't think they did.
Okay,
I remember because that was Cassie's mom from Euphoria. I'm like, oh, that's
you
her
said that.
again.
You said that,
Yeah.
yeah. You definitely said that. I thought it was interesting too, because we get a little bit of time, outside of Dina and Ellie, where we start to get a little bit more of the other, what's the word I'm looking for, the background, not background characters, but the other characters that's making this world go around, outside of
Yeah.
the main cast, and kind of what they're doing and their role in the world, and getting a better sense of like what's going on. I think I said this before, like, but in these post-apocalyptic, or the end of the world zombie things, you always see like when it all comes down to it, people always group together, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and whatever direction that turns into to survive, we see so many different factions of the different people. We got the Jackson people, we got the Scars, and we have the militia, wolves, and how they've gone about doing it. But at the end of the day, like I said, we still see throughout their stories, there's some sense of like there's still like humanity. You know what I mean? Like uh there's still something that's like, okay, this is our code, or this is how we live our
Mm-hmm.
life. Just don't do it. It doesn't seem like they're just doing stupid stuff just to do it for the most part, but they have found a unique way to them to survive. And I'm
Yeah.
guessing perspective of everybody else that either looks crazy or they're the bad guys of that story.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was interesting that again, we've getting more time with that, and I think that's important too, because like you definitely want to show the opposition and how and why they're doing what they do.
Yeah. Like it's always a gray area. It's like no one's really
Everybody's not
good
everybody
or
doesn't wake up.
bad.
Yeah. Everybody's not a villain when they wake up, you know what I mean? Doc Ock wasn't Doc
Mhm.
Ock, so Nosy Spider-Man came around. And most villains aren't the super version or the exaggerated versions of themselves until an outside party or a traumatic event, you know what I mean, by XYZ,
Mhm.
because we talked about like the nature versus nurture thing.
Yeah.
What type of person would Ellie be if she didn't come in contact with Joel? She
Yeah.
probably did, to be honest, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because they would have made a cure.
Yeah. We drop into Seattle day 2, and I feel like I'm going to be saying Ellie and Dina a lot. But we get into day 2, and it's hard to believe that that last episode was one day, because there was a lot going on within that day, and they really
Oh my
make.
god. Wait, you forgot to mention the virus is now airborne.
Oh yeah, they mentioned it. I
Yeah,
thought it
like
already was,
crazy. I don't know.
because they were already wearing the mask and stuff like that because when they were going underground, like the spores and stuff, while they were already wearing. But you're saying that they kind of confirmed that it's just in the air, basically. Like
Yeah.
eventually it's gonna spread. I don't know. I feel like they didn't give me enough there to fully say that. For
Because
me,
they said it's in the air. And that's why they locked everybody down there.
well,
They
that's what I'm
don't
saying.
want that get it out.
It was in the air for that particular area, or we're just talking about in the world in general. That's where I kind of was confused about, like when she
That makes
was.
sense.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna say it was just that for that particular area, because there's nothing in this
True.
story or game that points to it being a Walking Dead, if you die you just become a zombie anyway situation.
You want to know what it is? And I don't know, maybe I am wrong with this one, but I don't think they put a lot of, because I remember from the game it's airborne, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, initially yes.
Yeah, because
But,
you
but then
have segments with the
but then
mask.
they eventually find out what it actually is, which is the spores,
Mm-hmm.
and start to like whatever that, you know what I mean, like, because I think at the initial first couple people, it did somehow those spores or whatever. I forgot what they said it was, but they did come in, and then of course you see like the world just go bananas like overnight for whatever reason, which is crazy. So I don't know if that was just like a world, M. Night Shyamalan activated event, or if that was like you said, because that would be the most sense. Like if it was already airborne at that point.
Yeah,
But
because I think that they didn't put a lot of emphasis at the first season that this was an airborne thing.
no, they obviously show
Mhm.
you the physical object, which is the shrooms, the spores, which are creating the infected. You know what I mean? If you breathe it in, if you get bit,
Mhm.
which weird virus, because like, okay, if the spores infect you and you become a zombie, why does biting you make past the virus? If it's inhaled, I mean, we go into it.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
research it, but I feel like because it's like it's never. I feel like it was never mentioned before until now. Like they never put a lot of emphasis on that in the series until now.
yeah. I kind of feel
So
like I feel like I mentioned this a lot too. Like The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead, I feel like they kind of go into like, okay, what is this virus? They have like that whole CDC scene, and I feel like at a certain point in the show, they just stop accepting. They just kind of start accepting that, for trying to not try to figure out what it is or where it's coming from, and that
mhm.
this is just the present life of what's going on. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, same thing here. I think at some point the people that were born prior to all of this going on, which is majority of the adults and stuff like that, because this is still like a new thing. You know what I mean? Like sort of new. And some of those people just have to accept, like, okay, this is just what life is. I got to shoot people for a bag of simple supplies, stuff like that. It's just what it is. Uh,
Mhm.
we get a point in the episode too where we get more character development, right? We get to see a little bit more of Dina and her ability to triangulate and how smart she is, like, the stuff that she
Yeah.
again, her playfully playing with Ellie about her level of intelligence, going to school, stuff like that. um and I just thought that was interesting, just kind of like their interaction. But before I get into this next thing, I want to say, what did you? I mean, obviously coming back into, again, this is like one day after that whole thing from last season, but just the kind of things that are said in the scene between them two, and not said, because they kind of have a moment here where they just stop and look at each other, where she says, "Hey, Ellie," and then there's nothing said. Where I think at that point she wanted to say, "I love you."
Yeah, she did. Did
Later
she?
in the scene, in the show, but I think
Yeah.
that was like a mental telepathy. Look at my face. I'm telling you I love you without saying it. And I think
Mhm.
mutually understood, and then it was voiced out loud. What was your whole thoughts on that scene in particular?
I thought it was really cute. I love when they banter. I think
Yeah,
it's really I think it's a really cute thing. I think they have really good chemistry together.
they do.
Like they really, really good. And just thought it was a good banter. I love them. I love them together. I don't want to see anything bad happen to them. Neither of them.
uh,
I don't know what happens because I didn't finish the game, so
grab your mobile device, start stuff. Well, you could probably just YouTube it. Somebody's got all the cutscenes up. You know what I mean?
oh
Like,
yeah, no, there's like playthroughs. I'm gonna probably do that one day. I'm probably just gonna watch the
that's
whole
probably, that's
cutscenes.
probably,
There's
if I had to
YouTube.
guess, at least 8 hours of cutscenes, if not more. If I had
Yeah.
to guess, I'm gonna look it up. the But yeah, like I said, we get that whole scene between further building the relationship. They're trying to figure out the location of where exactly the hospital is, because they
Yeah.
they believe that that's where the wolves, or specifically where Abby may be, which is why
Mhm.
they're trying to figure this out. We get Ellie kind of scattering off, going into the theater, where again we get a scene of there being musical equipment in the theater, and
Yeah.
her attempting to sing the song, or sing a song, and just kind of thoughts kind of enter her brain, and she just no. And if I had to guess, I would say Joel.
I was
Or
thinking that too.
yeah,
Something to do with Joel.
she kind of feels like I can't I can't uh I can't be happy right now until I figure out this situation, or that feeling is kind of taking over more than me wanting to live whatever I'm doing, which is why multiple times throughout this, tells Dina, like, look, you can go back.
Yeah.
You can definitely go back.
It's like
uh,
there's no breaks because she
no,
has a mission. There's no
no,
break time for breaking into a musical number right
no,
now.
no, no, no. Not at any point. Yeah, yeah.
Nah.
All music is dead during zombie / infected apocalypse. Can't have fun.
Mhm.
Kill that.
And I love this theater, by the way. It's really pretty.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Definitely. Dina and Ellie head out on their journey into the streets of Seattle, as they come across a bunch of dead scars laying on the ground, under a mural of our favorite villain, whose name is unknown to us at the moment. Definitely tell that Dina wants to hurl again. Uh, and, this,
Yeah.
and this is where we kind of lead into where Ellie again tells Dina she can go back, like the baby is too big of a risk, like no. And we start to get more of her backstory of Dina explaining her first kill, and everything that happened. um like I said, this is the first time we definitely we go deeper into Dina here. uh
Mhm.
were you looking to get more of Dina's backstory, or were you kind of like, did you feel like this was enough to kind of like set the tone of the character for her?
Yeah, I like that we went in a little bit deeper into her backstory. I always feel like like get into the backstories is really good for
Yeah.
characters that are kind of like, one of your main stars. It gives them a point of doing this, which she kind of like relates in like later at the end of that, where she was like, if like I would want to kill these people,
Yeah.
like if that person, like she relates it back to Joel. I can't remember. exactly what she says, but she relates it back to Joel. So it wasn't like there wasn't a point of it, you know? It was there for, she was saying her backstory for a reason, and then you also got to know the character a little bit more, because it's been referencing since she's been out there that she's like, I seen shit, you know, I seen some stuff. So now we know what the stuff is. And having to kill somebody at 8 years old is like insane. You're a literal child.
That's the world they live in. I mean, that's the norm to them. Like, you know, I mean, once you kind of pull that trigger and get it out the way, it is what it is. But you had mentioned again, you know, one of the reasons why she was telling her backstory, obviously to further convince Ellie, like, if it was you, if it was XYZ, I basically would not stop.
Yeah, like, she'll do the same thing
until that person is gone. The reason she did stop is because she was able to take care of that problem right then and there, from, you know, when she was there. But further kind of drilling, like, look, I'm ride or die for you on this trip. You basically don't have to keep asking me to go back. Like, if I die, I die. This is the risk that I'm taking. And this is the attitude I like, right? And I feel like a lot of people, especially, like, they get the hero complex where it's like it's their personal responsibility to keep this person alive. Like, you've pretty much taken away any whatever that they have to fully commit to any action of thinking for themselves, because you've now tell them to go run and hide, and I'll take care of everything. I don't need your help. And that was basically what she's telling Ellie here by giving her more of this backstory. Like, look, I'm here 100%.
Yeah.
Don't gotta keep asking me.
I think she was annoyed at that point. It's like, I'm here. I'm here to do this.
And you could definitely see it, as the story's being told, like, obviously the concern from Ellie, and the look.
Valid.
Yeah. Like, oh man, you good? You need a hug? Like, you know what I mean? It's a lot to think about. But I definitely, like I said, I really liked that they gave us more of that here, because I was definitely looking. Again, they do an amazing job of writing in more story for Dina, further making us like her even more as a character in the story. They on their journey, they go into, I'm assuming it's a warehouse or whatever. And I could never tell like what buildings they're going in for the most part. I'm like, what is this? This is a house, this is a store, like what?
Yeah,
it's always so dark.
It's dark like, and everything's unnamed. It all looks the same.
Yeah, I'm just like, everything's got a bush in front of it. Like, I'm like, where are we? And so we find again more of the smart and infected, the ones that are more capable of thinking and strategizing and being aware of, because the majority of them are just like mindless drones that kind of run towards whatever it is. Whereas though these ones seem like they have more of a survival. You know, I see you got a gun, I'm moving out the way, you know, situation here. So it's you know, you thought we were gonna be, that was gonna be the end of it, and you thought it was going to be the end of it, you know, early on in the season when they show it with Ellie early on. But no, we not only get one, but we get at least like 6. Like, yeah, so
6, yeah. That's a lot.
Yeah. So we get our first scary scene of the episode so far, where Ellie and Dina are running in, and you know, of course, the plan was to not fire guns, and what happened almost immediately as they walked in, the plan went straight out the window.
Yeah.
They put every bullet that they had. Yeah, they thought they were going to be able to sneak up on this thing and flank it, and then quickly realizing that they were screwed. Dina locks herself inside of like a cage, and it's black. First of all, I swear none of them can shoot, because they were.
Oh my god! I know. None of them could.
Maybe it's, I don't know. Maybe it's just the fear of the situation. But yeah, like because early on you see them shoot, like they're hitting like crazy. But then here I'm like, okay, you're like, the thing's like right like point, but you're also trying to shoot through a cage, like through basically a tiny hole. So I get that too. So yeah, we get a bunch of them that come in and tackle Ellie. She's like, I can get bit. Yeah. You don't have to keep getting bit if you're immune, man. It's kind of the whole point. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not just because you have unlimited health in a video game doesn't mean I want to keep taking hits. I'm a dodge.
Yeah, exactly. That, and also like, yeah, you can't get bit and affected, but they could still like tear you apart. Like they could still like eat you maybe or something like that. Like
So
I don't
so my,
know.
my question is, in this scene where we see the horde kind of, or I'm not gonna say horde, but like the bunch of these infected kind of Ellie, were they biting her?
I don't know what they were. Maybe
Or they
she
were
was
just
screaming. What were they doing? And they maybe
I,
they were biting her. I don't know.
because like immediately after this, Dina comes out and screams, "Oh, she wasn't bit. She
Oh,
wasn't
she's
bit."
not bit. Yeah. So yeah, what were they doing? Just sitting on top of
So
her?
did she get bitten? She was covering her, so like they we kind of figure out the situation here, or
Unless she did get bit, and maybe she was just telling uh Jesse that. Can I say that now? Yeah,
Jesse, yeah.
maybe. Yeah, yeah. So maybe she was telling Jesse that, because like if Jesse would have saw that she got bit, he probably would have killed her. If she did.
Oh, 2000%. You could
Yeah.
already tell that's Jackson's policy, which is why like, hey, I didn't get bit. you got I'm good. Come check me. Like it's like
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder. I guess we'll find out next episode and
yeah,
see if she got
yeah,
bit, because I don't know. But like even then, it's still risky. Like they could still tear you apart, like if they want
yeah.
to.
Stop getting bit, Ellie, man. It's not.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, you don't have to get bit every episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can say that Jesse comes in to save the day for whatever reason, and I'm
I
trying to
was
figure out.
wondering how they were gonna get out of that
Yeah.
after a while. I was like, what's going on?
I thought it was going to be Tommy.
I thought so too.
I completely forgot that Jesse even plays a part in this. But I definitely thought it was going to be Tommy, and I feel like you don't get Tommy for a while. Like you don't see him. And then like I say, he comes in, and for whatever reason, it kind of bothered me was why did they all kind of run and scatter? They could have just jumped him.
Yeah, it was this one extra person. They could have.
I mean, I'm gonna overthink it, but yeah, I just kind of curious about that, like why didn't just jump, like you know what I mean, like so it was just, I mean, they have like a whole shotgun and like two guns, so
Yeah.
and then they so Jesse shows up, they're in, so basically I forgot to tell you, they're in the wolves, like one of the wolves like basically like close to like in their territory, so like the wolves kind of like find them almost immediately after being ran up on it by infected. So that could be one of the reasons why they kind of ran, was they either saw that the wolves were coming, and you know their chances were a lot slimmer at that point, kind of furthering the point that they're like smart. So they kind of was like, no, we getting up out of here.
That's true.
But I just thought that was interesting. Like they immediately start getting chased by wolves into outside for whatever reason. Again, can nobody shoot? They were like right there.
Oh my god, I know. I was like, why is everyone missing their shots? Bunch of stormtroopers. Like, yeah. Like you guys are military.
Yeah. I didn't know what to say on that one, but yeah, it's again. I mean, I know for the plot of it, we know
plot armor.
Yeah, but they were like barely hitting the corner. But of course, you want to probably add a little bit of drama to that. You know what I mean? Barely missing shots, almost making it kind of giving that sense of like they can actually die in the show. But okay, yeah. I get it. We wound up going in the forest, and of course the first thoughts in our head are we're probably going to run into some infected, you know what I mean, like because the original theory is the reason why nobody's going into the zone is because there's a bunch of infected in there, but then we of course find out that there's scars all in the forest, and we see some guy, I'm guessing it's definitely one of the wolves, getting gutted with a hook and hung and gutted with a hook, which they showed, which I was like, oh okay, that was yeah.
HBO, man.
You think they'd be going too far with that, or that's something that like fits? You have to for the show. You have to show it. You know, I feel like you can't like kind of shield your eyes, like because it definitely builds more of like what this world is like, how sadistic it's gotten as well.
Yeah, I don't think it's too much. People see some crazy shit nowadays, so like I don't think it was too much. But you need it. You need to show like how crazy things have gotten, and I feel like up until this point they have been showing like these scars is kind of like not peaceful, but they kind of like have been they've been getting killed and stuff like that. They're being killed by the wolves, and children are getting killed and stuff like that. So it's like if they are also the antagonists, like what I have heard, and even when I see them in a game, if they are the antagonists and you guys showed them as doing bad things, so it's kind of needed for
Yeah.
that. Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of get a better sense of why the wolves might be trying to hunt them down because of some of the stuff they're doing, or they just have two different sides here that they're just bumping heads. Like I said, we really don't fully know what the beef is just
Yeah.
yet between those two factions. Which
Yeah, I was wondering if it was like because like they didn't go into the park, and I wonder if it was like a territory type thing. Like they
yeah,
wouldn't go in there because it's like, oh, that's Scar territory. We can't go in.
I don't see why they wouldn't because they got guns, but they got bow and arrows. So I mean, I guess the mutual whatever it is, okay, they got guns, but they might have the numbers, and we can't afford to lose people because
Mhm.
people are also a resource.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like resources, consuming resources. So that could be probably like the reason why. I'm just guessing there, like why they're kind of offset or why they're scared to go into the territory, even though they have automatic weapons.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we see them. They kill this guy. We have no clue what's going on, but of course they immediately get spotted like Solid Snake and Metal Gear. And all the guards come, and we see as this whole thing with Dina gets a shot in the leg with an arrow. I don't know how they hit that shot in pure darkness. It's dark as hell out there. I don't know if that was just somebody got lucky, but
Right?
there's no way they hit that shot. Like
That's an arrow in the knee.
yeah, which it instantly makes Ellie change the plan again and take Jesse, run back to the theater, and get to safety as they split off. As
Yeah.
as Ellie draws fire away from where everybody is.
Which I feel like that was gonna happen because I feel
Yeah.
like this is Dina not with her for most of this game.
Yeah, it goes into a solo journey for like a good chunk. Yeah, I want to say it's not a spoiler, but spoiler for people watching whatever. Yeah, it does kind of like split off at some point where like okay, I'm not basically she's not going to be able to do it because the pregnancy is further on. I can't sit here and stop, because I got to take this. That's basically where that goes.
Yeah.
The in the process of running away, Ellie somehow like the golden arches or one of the whatever finds the hospital that they've been looking for accidentally because somebody wants her to go to this hospital to take to find us. Ellie finds I put Tati Gabrielle in the hospital, which we know the character is Nora. And I definitely remember this scene really vaguely too from the game because that was a big thing. But you also like fighting like other stuff as you kind of go through there too.
Yeah.
Which I was kind of hoping for. We see Ellie approach Nora. Hey, you know why I'm here. What's up with that info? I ain't giving it to you. Nora kind of apologizes, as you say, about what happened, and clearly did not mean it. So,
yeah.
I think I'm kind of glad they did that though. And when I say glad they did that, I'm glad they had Nora be like all in on the plan. It wasn't like some of us weren't in on this. You know what I mean? Like that way you completely villainize her, and it makes when she dies that much more satisfying.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We definitely see that. We see Ellie chase Nora for whatever I don't know how she didn't die falling down that elevator shaft.
Oh my god, yeah, or hurt a leg or something.
I thought that was wild. And she falls, like I said, they go down to the sub level, and this is where we come back to from earlier at the beginning of the episode where we see Sergeant Park explain, what happened to her son, and they them explaining they had to seal off the levels, which is why they say, hey, we can't lose that hospital. Like that's an important piece of the puzzle here. Like it's a big part of their infrastructure, which is why I can see why they would keep it a secret. And I want to be honest with you, at the beginning of the show, I thought she was gonna kill her. They were gonna shoot her in the room or something like that. Maybe I misread that. It seemed like they wanted to silence her, like they didn't want this information to get out because she does say
Yeah.
to her, "Hey, nobody else knows, XYZ." Usually, when people say that in everything, they usually kill you because they realize you're the last piece of the information, unless you're lying.
Yeah. I
I
was wondering why they were not antagonizing, interrogating her at the
Mhm.
beginning. Because I was like, what did she do? I thought they were like, like, factions or something at some
Yeah, I
point.
thought so too. I thought
Yeah.
so too, but then of course it comes full circle, and we see Ellie. We see all the infection like all over the walls.
It looked really good.
It looked
Like,
really good. Yeah, you see the people
that's
that are
like the
like
game.
bind it to the wall, and we see like as they're breathing, the spores coming out of their
Mhm.
mouth. I'm like, man, this looks good. Like
Yeah. That's
it,
like one of the things that when you were mentioning before about how there's just some moments where it's like silent and you're just kind of like taking in like
yeah,
what the scene, like this is one of the ones I was thinking of because I was just like, yeah, it looks anything like a screenshot or wallpaper or something like that will be like one of those scenes. Yeah.
yeah, it looked good. I mean, I don't know how I would love to see like the behind the scenes of
Mhm.
like how they did that particular scene in general because that was cool. I
Yeah.
definitely it looks really good. Um, but yeah, we see now Ellie chasing Nora through the sub levels of the infected. We stumble across Park's son because we see the um, the shirt
Yeah.
on him. Further confirming like what had to be done, which is why she was crying early in the episode, and we see how infected she is. And of course, like I said, begins a iconic moment in the game where we get the
Mhm.
whole chase down and we find Nora. She's barely breathing the spores, basically, about to die or turn, basically. And Ellie pretty much coming to confirm that she was the one that they were supposed to go after, that was supposed to save the world, quote
Yeah.
unquote. And then of course, Nora
She's like
pretty
a
much,
legend. The way
yeah,
she was like, "You're the immune girl."
the
We didn't
immune girl.
know.
They start calling the immune girl. But then Nora pretty much comes out and explains an entire story to Ellie, which we I think they kind of show it as though Ellie is learning this for the first time, but then Ellie confirms that, yeah, I already know.
Yeah, I mean, I had a feeling that she already
Yeah,
knew. Like, when I said it from the beginning, I'm like, she knows something is wrong.
yeah,
Yeah.
confirming like, yeah, just what was going on, because I mean at the end of the first season when she asked Joel the first time and he's like, nah, it didn't pan out. She knew
Yeah.
he was lying in that part right there. Um,
Mhm.
and then of course, through this entire thing we see Ellie interrogating Nora to figure out where Abby, which is kind of where we end this whole thing.
Yeah, beating it out of her. It's like
Yeah, we
to
we
the
we see
kneecaps.
we start to see more of we
Dark
start to
Ellie.
see more of the Joel and Ellie.
Mhm.
um and I think by in that moment where she says I know, confirms like, okay, yeah, you got to go all in on this now, because this is not, this is definitely personal, like, you know what I mean. She's accepted, he did what he did. I survived. He killed that girl's father. If he did not, I wouldn't be alive. So it's I think that's a big thing for Ellie too, is that knowing that you could possibly save the entire human race at this point, like everybody, in this world, and you kind of feel like you're being selfish
Mhm.
uh, by staying alive and keeping this secret, and then like there's nobody else that can possibly or there may not be anybody else that could possibly they'd be able to do this. And as
Yeah.
far as we know, and I think that's like this is like a unique thing they keep in the story. As far as we know, there is nobody else that is also immune to whatever this is.
Yeah. Not that we know of, but I don't think
Yeah.
so either. I also wanted to like I wish like when she was like hitting her Nora
Mhm.
with the pipe, I kind of wish that was how it happened with Joel. I felt like that was way more brutal
Yeah, that we
than
definitely
what
see
we
Joel.
got.
Yeah,
Hmm.
not that we wanted to happen to Joel, but
No,
just to further the impact of that. Yeah, I don't know,
yeah,
man.
I feel like it was more impactful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's such a minor character, I even would have been cool if it would have. I thought that the episode would have ended there, like when it cut to black, but then we got
I
led up to our
I
next
thought it
scene.
was. That would have been
Yeah.
perfect. I would have been cool
Hmm.
with that credits. But
Yeah.
then we somehow get I'm guessing obviously a flashback scene,
And he's back.
or is it real at all? Because the house it seemed like it was more present.
It's a
Like
flashback.
yeah, that I mean it look. I mean we don't know, but like just seemed like it just seemed like a more peaceful time based off of how comfortable she was sleeping, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
can't confirm, but we get Pedro Pascal and honoring his contract coming back for again just busting the room. I won't say busting the room, but he comes in the room and I guess wakes her up, and then that's
It's
kind of
definitely a flashback because he looks younger,
oh yeah, he doesn't look as worn
and
out.
yeah, he doesn't have like the gray hair and stuff like that. She also sounds a little bit different too. She
Mm,
sounds like a little bit like throwing her voice to make it sound like she's a little bit younger.
yeah,
Yeah, so I do think that's in the past. And she has her room in the house,
yeah.
in the garage.
Well, that's her
So,
room.
which we knew. I knew we were gonna get flashbacks. So
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, yeah, why not? I mean, that's further.
that's
I mean,
it's in the game too.
yeah. But of course, we end this with "Where's Abby?" That's the
Where's
question.
Abby?
Where's Abby?
Where is Abby? When are we gonna be Abby centric episode? I wonder if the whole next season is just gonna be her.
No,
No, you don't think so?
that would be a crazy choice. I don't think you need to do that.
Hmm.
I don't think you
We
need to
haven't
do that.
seen her that much.
No, yeah, we haven't. I mean, I can't say that because you're playing dual roles in that game, between those two characters.
Hmm.
Um, so I can't really remember like if it was a while before she comes into play or not. I guess that no, because you play with her like almost immediately.
Yeah, you do.
Because if I'm not mistaken, they make you as Abby hit Joel in the game. If I'm not mistaken, I feel like I could be wrong.
I
They could
don't
have been.
remember.
Yeah, yeah, it's tough. But just
Mm-mm.
while we're wrapping this up at the end of this episode, what did you think about the whole scene with? I feel like I went in with that a lot. The whole scene with with Nora and Ellie in the basement level.
Yeah, I think that was a really good scene. I really liked Tatia Gabrielle's acting.
Yeah.
I thought they both did really good, and and it is like the game, kind of similar to the game. So from what I remember, like how that whole thing was,
Yeah.
but I liked it. I thought it was really interesting. I think they're both fantastic actors, and yeah, I I want to see. Obviously, there's going to be more because they kind of left it on like that cliffhanger.
Right.
So I'm wondering what's going to happen next with them. Like, I don't remember if she kills her. I don't remember.
In the game,
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure she leaves her down there. Like I feel like she just let
her die down there.
She winds up whatever. She was already done the moment she got down there anyway.
Oh, true,
So,
true,
yeah,
duh.
so
Yeah.
I don't. Again, I feel like I say this every episode. Like I'm overdue for a replay, but I got so much on the backlog. But yeah, like I said, I really like this episode. I think they did that part really really well.
Same.
Again, I'm happy to see more of getting the time to kind of build up those other characters too, getting more of that. I feel like there's still kind of a mystery right now between the wolves and the scars, and like who they are, what they are, why they're doing this stuff like that. But your girl Dina is taken out of action early in the game.
Yeah.
On the leg. Don't know
That
if
was
that's
I was in my notes. I was like, when she got hit in the arrow, I'm like, oh, she's gone for the rest of the season
Yeah,
because I
you got
think
a
we
party
only
member
have
now. Yeah.
because we only have like 2 more. I think there's only 7, right?
6.
I wonder.
You might be right. It might be 7. I'm definitely
We should check that.
double check. I don't want to get. Yeah, let me look. I actually can look right now what the rest of the season is looking like.
Because I feel like it's 7 or 8.
I do know like this was supposed to be like a split season, if I'm not mistaken.
So the next season.
6.
So the next
6.
There's 6.
6. So yeah, next one is the last episode.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like there's so much more that needs to be done.
Yeah. When is the next one? Like 26 or 27?
Yeah. Wait.
I guess I could be wrong. You feel like this episode it felt? Did it feel slow to you? I don't think it did. I was just asking. Did you think it felt?
No, it didn't feel slow. I just feel like that there's so like if the next episode that we're about to watch is the season 1.
Yeah, it's going to be the I guess the finale.
The mid.
Don't hold me to that. I'm pretty sure it was already announced at 6, but I just wanted to. I definitely wanted to see it, as far as I know, because it was. I do remember it was supposed to be like 3 seasons. They were basically going to split it in half for the most part, but no. So IMDb is confirming 7. So it's supposed to air the 25th of May. So you definitely might be right on that one. Well, I'm pretty sure you're right. Yeah.
Okay, I was like wondering because I was like, damn, like this.
Because you're right, because this episode didn't really gear up for the next one to be like a finale. You know what I mean? I feel like whatever
you
the next
can usually tell when it's about to gear up for a finale.
Yeah.
And I was like, this didn't feel like that at all.
No. So I definitely might be wrong in this case. Yeah, we definitely might be 7.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great episode. I really enjoyed it. Again, you guys, did you have anything else you wanted to say about it, or anything you wanted to bring up?
I think it was just really good. I think again, like the Nora scenes were really good. I love Dina and I love Ellie together. They are also really good. And apparently Tommy's out doing something somewhere. We forgot to mention. He's having a Tommy adventure. So those are it's good. Just excited. I wonder where I always say this, but I really wonder where this is gonna leave off. Like, what's the ending of this season? Like what pivotal part of the game?
I mean, because we've seen them already kind of jump back and forth to like different people and like where they are. This is not like a Ellie and Dina focused 100% show. Like we do see other viewpoints and stuff like that. You could be right. I mean, it could be like, okay, we're gonna end this on Abby and then flip it back over. I'm sorry, flip it back over. So I'm hoping they don't do that.
Yeah.
And just make this next episode or two like the Abby episodes, but I don't know. I don't want to say that. I definitely want to see them kind of jump through it like equal each amount of time, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
But yeah, like I said, great episode. Like you guys know the deal. Like you did last time, please leave us a comment. Let us know what you thought about the episode after you just watched it tonight or whenever you have watched this recap review situation. What you thought about the episode? Do you miss Joel?
I do.
Yeah,
I miss Joel. I miss looking at Pedro Pascal.
You'll see him in 2 months. You'll see him again. He'll be stretching.
That's true. Yeah, who will be stretching? Yes.
But yeah, that was it. Like I said, I really have anything else I wanted to say on this. I'm guessing that you were done as well. Okay, so we're gonna wrap it up here, guys. Appreciate you for watching. Again, leave us a comment. A big go about me. You're dropping these every week. Come back, tune in, and we'll see you guys for episode 6. See you.